Now, I know you had been outspoken about suffering from postpartum depression, male postpartum depression. What are the differences between that and like what you would say like a normal depression, and how is that like diagnosed and how is it treated?
It just really came about. I mean, ever since the girls were born, I mean, the changes that we experience in life, just from everything from, just how, how life was just different just between me and my wife, just because like we went from, being parents of one daughter, and then all of a sudden like our entire world got flipped upside down. And then now, our entire life was being revolved around just keeping these 6 kids alive, keeping these 6 kids healthy. I mean, we went through, 3 months of being in the NICU, and, it was super stressful. And it, just went from, everything down from, just your interactions with your wife. I mean, like, we had so much time just to go out and do things, because it was just one kid and we could go anywhere, do anything we wanted. And all of a sudden, like now, like our life is just consumed with just, the craziness of having quintuplets and, just these quintuplet newborns in the house and, just everything surrounding that. And, just being a dad, of now figuring out how you're just going to make all this work and, how you're going to be able to raise and love and provide for, from one child now to 6 children, and every single thing in your life, you're having to upgrade, from vehicles to houses to, everything just to adapt to this new life that we have. And, so just, it kind of just took a toll on me because like, and I'm kind of still, going down that road and just trying to figure it out and like figure out who I am and stuff, just because like, you have, just as a dad and as just a man being, just who you are, and you have your own hobbies and your own life and your friends and stuff like that. And everything just kind of gets pushed aside and put on hold because of what's going on in your home. And so it's just been a whole process of just trying to figure out, what our new normal is and, just how we're going to make it all work. And, it was just that first probably couple years, it was just like a huge just shock to the system. And, it was tough. And, just little by little, I feel like just the way that I was, the way that I interacted with people, the way I interacted with friends and stuff, like it just started to change. And, I started to kind of get an idea that like, man, there's something wrong with me. I'm not acting myself. I started to just withdraw from like a lot of things that just like made me happy at the time, even just going to the gym and stuff. Like I just didn't have just the drive and the ambition to just do stuff like that anymore. And, Danielle, my wife, started seeing a change and stuff like that. And, we were talking about stuff and throughout this whole process. But, it's just one of those things where like, I've never struggled with any kind of like depression or anything like that. And so like, I didn't really know a whole lot about it. And, I feel like people's natural reaction of something that they just don't know about is they're scared of it and they try to hide it and suppress it and push it away and hide it from other people. And, so I started to do that. I just try to suppress it and not talk about it and like hide it from people. And that only made it worse. And it just steadily got worse and worse and worse. Over the course of probably a year and a half, 2 years, till finally, just things got to a point where like, Danielle sat me aside and like, pretty much said that, you got to get help. You got to go talk to somebody. You got to figure out what's going on. And so just started me down this journey of just like going and talking to church pastors to just other friends, and then later, it was kind of like an all the above approach. Just talking to originally starting to talk to a church pastor, he recommended that I actually go speak to a counselor, and and then just as I started opening up and talking about it and just getting it off of my chest, that's only whenever I actually started to see progress and started to kind of come out of it a little bit. And I, even just like accepting it, this is what it is. I'm not afraid of it anymore. I'm not going to run from it. And just kind of put it out there. It's like, this is what I'm going through. And, that's whenever I felt like I started to get better and really like turn a corner.
Yeah, and obviously, I'm glad that you were able to identify, what the issue was and get some help for it. The only experience I've had in my life, I'm a recovering alcoholic and an addict. And a big part of getting sober for me was separating myself from the old self and like understanding who I am now as a sober person. And like I went through a period of depression, especially coming off OxyContin, where I was depressed seriously for a few weeks. And it was hard for me to see myself as a different person because I was so locked into the person I was. And I think change in itself brings about a lot of different emotions for us. And I think becoming a dad, it makes us uncomfortable in a lot of ways because we experience things that we've never experienced before, and we have to adapt who we are. And we definitely go through a lot of changes.